It was a quiet night in Silver Springs, Virginia, until a frantic 911 call shattered the silence. On the line was Taylor Gould, breathless, confused, and covered in blood. In the background, a voice could be heard desperately calling out, "Come on, Mark." It was Rahul Gupta, trying to save his best friend, Mark Waugh. But by the time the police arrived, it was too late. Mark Waugh, a 23-year-old Georgetown law student, was unalived, brutally stabbed. Earlier that evening, Gupta, Waugh, Gould, and a few others had been out celebrating Gupta's birthday. The group drank and partied before heading back to Gupta and Gould's apartment. But what started as a celebration quickly took a dark turn. The friends continued drinking, the atmosphere growing tense as alcohol flowed. By 3:30 a.m., everything had spiraled out of control. When police arrived at the apartment, they found chaos. Blood was splattered across the walls and floor. Gupta was on the ground, covered in blood, kneeling next to Waugh's lifeless body. Taylor Gould, in a daze, couldn't explain what had happened, only repeating, "I don't know what happened. Can you tell me?" But Gupta had an answer for the officers. He claimed that he had walked in on a horrifying scene, his best friend, Mark Waugh, and his girlfriend, Taylor, having an affair. Enraged by the betrayal, he confessed that he had attacked Waugh in a fit of jealousy. "You alived my buddy," he told the officers without hesitation. His story was that simple, he snapped after discovering their affair. Yet as the investigation unfolded, it became clear that nothing about that night was simple. Mark Waugh had been stabbed 6 times, slashed 5 times, his lung punctured, and his jugular vein cut. According to prosecutors, Waugh didn't lose his life instantly. He likely fought for his life, suffering for several minutes before succumbing to his injuries. Gupta's initial confession seemed to solve the mystery, but as the trial began, his defense team painted a different picture. They claimed Gupta was only covering for Gould, who they argued had been the real perpetrator. According to Gupta's attorneys, Gould, who had been heavily intoxicated that night, was in a violent rage and had attacked Waugh. Gupta, they claimed, had only confessed to protect her. After all, who would expect a small, drunken woman to be capable of such a violent act? Gould testified, claiming she had no memory of the night's events due to her intoxication. She admitted to drinking several shots, mixed drinks, and wine, but insisted she wasn't violent. She didn't know how Waugh had ended up unalived. Yet, the defense's story had cracks. A palm print and fingerprints in Waugh's blood were traced back to Gupta, and forensic evidence showed that Gupta had been the one holding the knife. There was also a phone call from Gupta to his father after his arrest, where he confessed, "Mark and I got into a fight, and he tried to get the knife." The jury was left with a puzzle to solve. Was this truly a case of a jealous friend lashing out over an affair, or had Gupta been trying to protect his girlfriend? After just 4.5 hours of deliberation, the jury made their decision: Rahul Gupta was guilty of first-degree murder. As the verdict was read, Gupta appeared to wipe away tears, but his fate was sealed. In the end, no one could truly explain how a night meant to celebrate friendship had turned into a deadly encounter.